What's up, everybody? Welcome to Narco Cop MMA, and this is the Lambo Plays podcast, episode 87, UFC 299, the best card of the year so far. And I am here with my co-host, Timothy Troiano. What is up, my man? Best card of the year so far, man. How do you feel about this one?
Really excited about this card. Love the fights. There's some fucking bangers. When you got Almeida and Curtis Blaydes in there on the prelims, you know that this is going to be a banger card.
I mean, this freaking card is unbelievable. That from the beginning of the card to the end, it's going to be a really, really good card, in my opinion. Again, we don't know how it's going to play out, but it seems like it's a very, very good card on paper. We do have a special guest for this pay-per-view card here today. Before I bring him in, I do want to shout out my chat first. Let's see if my chat can actually guess who my special guest is. We'll start off with Andrew Peden, top-notch breakdowns and insights. Looking forward to this one. Thank you, my man. Appreciate you. MMA Goulash. Let's go. This card is stacked from top to bottom. Absolutely. Mushroom. What is up, my friend? One more sleep. Tell us the hours and the minutes and the seconds remaining for UFC 299. You have it up on your chalkboard up there, Mushroom. Joshua, what is up, my man? Let's go. Let's continue this through the weekend. Man, what an incredible weekend it's been so far between boxing, PFL, Aries, you name it. It's been incredible. Air Dog, what is up? Pumped to making the live show tonight. So pumped for 299. Thank you for coming on, Air Dog. Olajuwon, first time Francis gets knocked down and KO'd. Will the same happen to Cheeto? I don't know. Let's see. Excited for this one, says the Becca. Who else we have here? Alfonso, what is up, man? Lambo's going to hit this week. He can feel it in his loins. What is up, Fresh Gambles? Thank you for joining. DA07, the big boy card is finally here. I'm excited to see what Chef Narco and Chef Tim has cooked up. We also have a third chef in the kitchen today. So it's not only two chefs. Normal Joe, let's make some more tattoo money. Tattoo money? I don't know about that. That's too little. Craig Crowley, let's go, guys. Thomas O'Connor, 299 in Miami. Lambie? Okay. Wacky Iraqi, what is up, my man? Lambo's going to hit this week. Damn, everybody. This guy can feel it in his groin. I don't know about that one. Evan Zucker, what is up? Everybody hit the like he said. Dixon, what is up, my friend? Thank you for joining. Gerardo, what's up, my friend? Thank you for joining. Das Files. Let's go, brother. Let's go. LJAU Coin. Dustin KO is the lock. Oh, my goodness. Don't say that word. Bob Spikerman's. Let's get it. Already won the CLV World Championship for Anthony Joshua by decision. Yeah, you definitely won it. I'm going to hand off the trophy to you on that one. Hoping for pants off after this card, says Christian, Tim. Timothy Johnson, what is up, man? Who else do we have here? Jesse Q. I always like shouting out the best chat in the game. Mosh, show me the money, my friend. Undertaker, good evening, my friend. Thank you for joining. Nick Juarez also in the house. J888, bedridden with COVID, but could not miss the episode. Man, hope you get better. I appreciate you, my friend. Mike, could you get Minty Bet's phone number? That I can't do, but I might get her on the show one day. 2X Danny, 15K type of card. Let's get it. I like the sounds of that one. Parachuter, what is up? Eric Albright. Steverson, here we go. He says, Hector Ibarra bought some iPads for the live bets this weekend. Gonna be at my grandma's 85th birthday, and we're gonna, you know what we do for live bets in that Discord, man. Come on. Just got off of work. Let's get this money. B-Man says, cheese and crackers. It's a dynamic duo. And without further ado, we are going to bring in our... Damn, wait, hold on, guys. Before I bring in my special guest, 177 live viewers already. Let's freaking go. Let's hit that big mark today for this big card. And our special guest in the house, it is none other than Sean Orr. What is up, my friend? Are you ready for this banger of a card? Did you do your homework, first of all? Because you're in that kitchen right there. I mean, in that living room. I know you really did some homework in that type of living room.
Yeah, this living room is courtesy of StreamYard. Thanks for providing the living room to me. Yeah, I'm all moved in. The room is a little barren, so felt like I'd add a little color. But yeah, I love this card, man. This is a great card to like really get excited for. I wasn't expecting to like it so much. I haven't had a ton of time to tape full cards lately, but for this one, totally different. Every fight is great. Every fight is interesting. So I'm super excited to talk about this one.
All right. Nice to have you here, Sean. And with that being said, Tim, are you ready to kick off UFC 299? We have 14 fights, and we are going to start with the first fight of the night. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 16-8 Joanne Wood versus the 11-5 Marina Morose. And let's give this one to our guest here, Sean Orr. Kick us off. Give us a Lambo on this banger of a first fight of the night.
Yeah, how very nice of you to give me this one to set it off. But let's go, boys. These two have already fought before, right? We saw how that turned out. Morose got the submission. Pretty par for the course, right? With Joanne Wood getting submitted, and she's old now. I didn't like how she looked in her last fight, too. It just looks like she's lost a beat. But, of course, you could say the same about Morose, right? I mean, she's the OnlyFans girl now making tons of money. Shout out to everybody out there who's seen the pics. They're pretty great. I'm sure she's cashing in. But for this one, I feel like there's two plays that are obvious, right? It's got to be Morose sub plus 375 or Wood decision plus 420. You know, with these retirement fights like this, you got to be kind of bearish, but I'm more so leaning the Wood side, the Wood decision. I'm just going to roll with that, but I think it's between the two, right? Sub for Morose or Wood decision. So give me that 420.
All right. Sean goes with the Wood decision and the sub on Morose. I'm also going to give out the Wood decision. Here's the thing with this fight. Like, I know Morose does have a grappling edge, and you know, she subbed her the first time. No two other fights are usually alike. And, you know, when you look at her historically, she's not really the type of girl that pushes a lot of takedowns. She just doesn't. The most takedowns she's ever had in the UFC, I believe, is 2. And that was against Agapova and Mayra Bueno Silva. And the Mayra Bueno Silva were basically judo throws where kind of Mayra initiated the grappling and then she got taken down. But Agapova ones were, you know, she hated that girl. There was a lot of animosity and she just went to town on her, right? I just don't feel like she's that type of grappler, though, that's going to try to wrestle, go for a single or a double. She just doesn't show it on tape, to be honest. And when you're talking about like clinch work, like I don't hate Wood there in the clinch. Like she's a Muay Thai girl. She throws elbows. She throws knees. Can she get taken down? Of course she can. But I just don't think Marina Morose is that type of fighter where, you know, she's going to absolutely go for takedowns and try to grapple here. Maybe she lands one. I don't think, you know, they're making out Wood to be like a complete fish out of water on the ground. I don't think that's true. But the thing that is a little impressive with Morose when I see her like getting on top of girls, she throws a ton of ground and pound. Like if you see what she did to Agapova, I mean, she almost killed that girl until the girl gave up her, you know, back, her neck, whatever it was that she subbed her with. But she was putting an absolute beating on her on the ground. So I am giving Wood decision. I honestly wouldn't count out Morose KO 2-3. I know she's only had one in her career, and I think it was a doctor stoppage. You know, with Wood being so old, if she gets to these advantageous positions later in the fight, I mean, she could put a hurting on her, and it could just be like where Wood just doesn't do anything and just turtles up, and the fight gets stopped. So 2,600 is a huge number for KO 2-3. I don't think it's coming standing, by the way. I don't think Morose has much power in her hands at all. So I think if it comes, it's got to be ground and pound. So, yeah, I mean, 2,600, it's a huge number. I probably not going to hit, but I don't, you know, at this point in her career, Wood, we know it's a retirement fight. But I will say the volume will definitely be on the Wood side, in my opinion. Like she throws a lot of kicks, a lot of punches. She throws straight punches. That straight right hand, I'm telling you guys right now, it's going to land all fucking day on Morose. She did, for some reason, a straight right, just it's like glued to her face, just constantly gets nailed with it. So yeah, I mean, with decision 420 is a little crazy to me. Tim, what do you have here, buddy?
Yeah, I'm on the square side on this one. I think Morose sub is the play. I think that the fight kind of will be similar to the previous fight. I know they usually aren't, but I just kind of lean that she subs her. I kind of think that it happens early as well. Usually when Wood is getting finished, she's getting finished pretty early. And I don't know that she's got her head in the game right now. And so I'm going to go sub, and then sub 1 is plus 900, sub 2 is plus 1200. I think those are the way to go.
All right. I don't blame you. It's happened once, so it can probably happen again. Fight number 2. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 12-4-1 CJ Vergara versus the 18-2 Asu Almeida. So this is a fight where I have very early lines on Asu, like really, really good early lines, minus 140, minus 160, in that range. Like those are crazy good, obviously, now. I honestly don't see why he's this big of a favorite now. I think this is way, way, way too. I mean, here's the thing. Like, okay, CJ Vergara, he is not. I'm not going to say he's a great fighter or a very good fighter. One thing that we can say about CJ Vergara is he's very fucking tough, right? We know he's a very tough guy. He was in there against Tatsuro Taira in that fight, and you know Tatsuro Taira is hyped. He closed as a minus 300 favorite, Taira, in that spot. You're telling me this guy, Asu, is minus fucking 600 now or whatever crazy ass line that's out there now? This guy's better than Tatsuro Taira? I don't think so. I don't think he's nowhere near Tatsuro Taira. I think he's a good fighter. I think has an all-around game. He can grapple. He has okay striking. But he's not a threat like Taira is on the feet and on the ground. Like the way Taira changed those submissions where he can go from one to the other, you don't see that from Asu. Asu is like a back take guy trying to get the RNC. That's basically what his game is. And we've seen CJ Vergara very hard to grapple in that position, like to get that sub. He's not easy. Taira couldn't get it. He had it for a long time. He couldn't get it. But you see how he transitioned to the armbar and he got him with that. So I honestly think this line's fucking bonkers. He's minus 650, dude, on some books, like double what Taira was. I'm going to go with a crazy fucking prop here because I can't stand what they're doing here. They're pricing this fucking guy like he's a killer. I'm going to take CJ Vergara round 3 plus fucking 5,000. Okay. The guy is shown over and over and over again that he will come for your throat in round 3. If he's there, if he's still alive in round 3, he's going to come and he's going to come hard. And he's got, I think, a couple of finishes in round 3 before he almost, if there was probably one more minute, he probably had Osborne out of there in round 3. So this Asu guy does seem to slow down later in fights too. I mean, he looks like he has okay cardio. I just think he might go for it a lot early and not get it and then tire out. It's probably not going to hit, but fucking Vergara round 3 plus 5,000. That's all I'm going to fucking give here. And if you want a Lambo, honestly, his money line's a Lambo. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the line is wide, but I mean, the money lines are just, the market is just fucking whacked out from the last few weeks of people just the parlay boys have just killed all, like every line in known to man. Like they're if you see a minus 300 guy, he's going to be minus 550 just because they know that the parlay boys are just going to hit it over and over and over until it gets to a certain point. So fuck them. So that's all I got to say on that. But yeah, I do agree that the money line is wide. But I can't get over like CJ just he's not a really super strong grappler. Obviously, I don't think that the fight is like if Asu is on the feet that he's just like dead in the water in the feet. I think he's okay. I think he keeps himself responsible enough to set his takedowns. He's got good single leg takedowns. Like you said, he's going to try to take the back. I think that that's also something that CJ does in fights is give up his back as he tries to get up because he doesn't just stay there and lay in guard. So, I mean, like you said, I think that the Taira fight is a good example. I do rate Taira's jiu-jitsu and just grappling game higher than Asu's, but it doesn't change how I think that this fight will go. I just think the same thing I think pretty much the same thing will happen. He had opportunities in round 1 to sub him. He defended him well. Then as he got a little bit more tired in the second round, he got him and he caught him. So I think Asu sub round 1, sub round 2 are solid, plus 350, plus 500. So the first 2 fights, I think, end in the first couple rounds by sub.
All right. Sean, this one's yours, my friend. 339 live viewers, Tim. We broke a record by a mile. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Do me a favor, please. Hit the like and retweet our show on Twitter, please, so we can get more people in here. All your family members, dads, moms, kids, they're all welcome here. It's a family show. And Sean, what kind of family Lambo play do you have for this one here?
Yeah, the Lambo for the family. So what a Lambo SUV. I think it is the Vergara round 3 plus 5,000. I mean, I just don't see. I get it. Like stylistically, like if you look at this stylistically, I think Tim's side is probably likeliest to cash. I would say like the 1 and the 2 sub, of course, but you're just looking at this and the way this Asu guy fights, it's not like he's this price tag even on regionals. So Vergara is a dog, man. Like coming to the UFC and fighting a guy like Vergara who's just going to go blood and guts, life and death with you. It's a little bit of a different animal in front of a gigantic crowd. So I like that long shot on round 3. I wrote it down on my sheet. But yeah, I would say probably Tim's has the highest likelihood of cashing.
Where are you guys seeing 5,000 in round 3, by the way?
I think Bet365 had it.
365.
I think 365 had it. Even check Hard Rock as well. They usually have some insane fucking lines for. Oh yeah, Hard Rock has round 3 plus 5,000 as well. So yeah,
it's just crazy if you think about it. I mean,
I don't care. The guy has a lot of finishes in round 3. He comes hard in round 3. We don't really know much about this Asu guy other than, his regional tape. Yeah, I mean, he looks like a good grappler. It looks like he has, decent cardio. But listen, here's another thing. I didn't even mention it. He got knocked out in round 3 against Almeida, right? So,
he tapped the strikes.
It's been there before, and it's happened to him. So, let's move on. Fight number 3. It is in the heavyweight division. It is the 4-0 Robelis Despaigne versus the 15-7 Josh Parisian. And this one is to Timothy. What hot take do you have on this fight?
Oh, man. No real hot take on this one. These ones are kind of shitty unless you want to take a stab at the Parisian side, which I can't get to, honestly. I saw his workout video this week, and I was kind of laughing at it. Dude's just doing, plyometrics and shit. You need to jump out of the way of an 87-inch reach. Fight to end in the first 60 seconds is the lowest line that I think I've ever seen in my life. It's plus 350, but it still is a Lambo. A used Corolla is Robelis to win and under a half a round is plus 175. I think that's okay. I think that's really actually pretty likely to happen. And I wouldn't take away the plus 350 fight end in 60 seconds. Cause if you're Parisian and you just try to run across the cage and try to clinch this guy instantaneously, which I think is pretty much it's either that or he tries to run away from him. Right. So if he runs at him, I think he gets insta-bonked. So I'm not a big Parisian fan, bet against him a bunch, cashed against him a bunch. He got face humped by, what's his face? Can't remember his name. So this is just a pass fight.
All right, Sean. Anything special that sticks out here in this fight?
What a stupid fight. Yeah. So it's the Lambo show, right? So you got to hunt for those bigger tickets, and I think that if you're looking to hunt for bigger tickets, you got to fade this. Robles guy round 1, pretty much have to. I feel like you'd have to look at round 2 at plus 850 Or to be honest with you, like, would it really be that shocking if this fight went the distance? sloppy heavyweight fight, but
listen, I honestly, like, if this fight makes it past 7.5 minutes, I'm all there. I think it's going the distance.
It's going to be GTD, dude. Yeah, so I think that those would be my two favorite spots, would be to just don't even think about round one at all, because you're just not going to make any money, man. Don't pick up pennies off the ground. Go for, round 2 KO for Robles, and or go the distance. But I think he's going to ice. I think he's going to ice him.
Yeah, man. I mean, I have it written down here. Round 1, Despaigne. I just think he's going to kill him.
Yeah. But that's what I actually bet. That's the thing. That's the tough thing about.
But here's the thing, though, too, that I could see happening, right? If you see the one fight that got extended for him, right?
He's getting clinched.
What happened to him, right? Something that Parisian kind of does, too. Like, he'll clinch against the fucking cage and maybe hold him there, right? And he's a much bigger guy than that other guy that he faced, right? Yeah. Now, Parisian is very fucking slow. He's unathletic. He is a plotter. He's not good anywhere. It's just like what's his best attribute? He's tough. Okay, great. You're fucking tough. I mean, it's not really a good attribute. If that's your best attribute, it's probably a bad thing, right? I mean, Despaigne round 2 is 850. The guy that I told you lasted till the end of round 1 almost. Got knocked out with seconds left, I believe, right? If it goes into round 2, Despaigne looks like he's in very fucking good shape for a huge heavyweight. Like, he just looks the part, right? If it goes into round 2, I still think he can ice fucking. I don't think this guy's round 1 or bust, by the way. I don't think that. Everybody seems to think this guy is round 1 or bust. I don't think he's round 1 or bust. I think he can knock out Parisian round 2. The problem with Parisian is this is the main problem I have with him. If this guy doesn't knock out Parisian in round 1 or sub him or whatever, right? Parisian doesn't have the fucking gas to do shit in round 2 either. That's the fucking problem. And he probably came in the worst shape of his life looking wise, to be honest. So the other narrative here to look out for, I wrote that down too, is Despaigne is Cuban, man. He's a Cuban Olympic fucking kickboxer. And look where they're putting him to fight. Why the fuck did they choose a Miami card out of all cards? Because it's all fucking Cubans there. And they want to hype this guy up. So, I mean, they're giving him the worst, literally one of the worst heavyweights on the roster in Miami, his first UFC fight. Go ahead and knock this guy out and fucking, make it a highlight reel. Honestly, it might be a head kick. It might be something crazy. This guy's getting flatlined, I think, in round 1. And there's no other ways of looking at this. But from a Lambo perspective, there's only round 2 I can look at, plus 850. I know there's people like sprinkling sub 1 on this guy. I don't know, bro. I don't think he's subbing nothing. But who knows? 459 live viewers. Love you all. Thank you very, very much for the love, guys. I appreciate it. Breaking records here on the Lambo Show. And now we'll move on. Fight number 4. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 29-11 Michel Pereira versus the 19-6 Michal Olejniczak. This one is Sean's. What do you got here for us, Sean?
Yeah, it's just another one of these where it's like, I guess, semi-predictable what you'd select, right? For me, it's going to be Pereira decision plus 290. There's some equity that's back in on that because he got a KO last time, so they've given better odds for his decision line. I think that's his path to victory here versus Lord Michael. But to be honest with you, if you're inclined to the Lord Michael side, I think it's KO 1 or 2. I know some people are going to think 2 or 3, but I actually think that Pereira, if you watch some of his fights, like when he gets pressured early, he's getting hit. That happened in the Dusko fight. That happened in the who's that guy who came into the UFC Fialio fight? he almost caught him in round 1. So Michael's going to provide the same pressure. And I think I like the Lord Michael side just in general, because you saw those face-offs. It's not like Pereira was towering over his opponent. Not at all. Lord Michael was just as big, if not bigger.
He might have been a little bigger.
Bigger than him. So I think that if Lord Michael fights the way he normally does, he's just hunting, acting like a berserker, you could probably touch that chin and knock him out in 1 or 2.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I really like this fight, honestly. I think this fight is a really good fight. Yes, Michel Pereira is probably way more athletic. You know, he's more explosive. You know, he does all those things, but he's got pretty bad fight IQ, 1. 2, he gasses even in fights that are not like crazy high pace. Even till this day, he still slows down a good deal in round 3. And 3, this guy always, if this fight goes to scorecards, he always fights fucking close. He never pulls away from anybody. Fialho fight, a very low-level fighter in Fialho that's a one-trick pony. Not even very good at it, to be honest. Very close fight. Fucking, who is the other fight? Oh, Santiago Ponzinibbio, guy that's way over the hill at this point, to be honest. And split decision. And honestly, a lot of people thought Ponzinibbio won that fight. You know, you look at these over and over, you know, Chaos Williams fight was close. He loses a decision to fucking Tristan Conley, and we know about that back in the day. Olejniczak is a little bit different. Like, yes, early, you know, he maybe can get tagged up, but this guy keeps coming. He's tough as fucking nails. Like, honestly, for Pereira to knock him out, I think it's got to be like a flying knee, a head kick, something crazy. Otherwise, not knocking out Olejniczak. And the body work, man, the body work is going to come into play. He's going to try to rip the body. And the one thing that shows up on tape for me over and over with Michel Pereira is he does not like pressure. When Fialho pressured him, he sucked ass. When the other guy pressured him, Santiago Ponzinibbio pressured him, he sucked ass. He just looks horrible when he gets pressured, man. And what is Olejniczak's main game? Fucking forward pressure. He's not going to stop coming. That's just how he fights. He's going to dig to the body. I've seen all week long how he doesn't have a camp and he doesn't have a coach. Well, this guy fights the fucking same way every single motherfucking fight. It's never changed for this guy in the UFC. He does the same exact things. It's come forward, side to side, boxing, big digging body shots, and keep coming forward. That's his game. It's not going to change. I don't think it matters whether this guy has a coach at this point or not, because it just doesn't seem like he's improving any other part of his game. Like, he's got good boxing, and that's it. So I do think that Michel Pereira is extremely tough and durable as well. I don't think he's just going to succumb easily here. So I'm going to go out on the Oleg decision, man. It's plus 510, okay? It's plus 510 on a guy that's, I think, 4-1 in his decisions, as opposed to a guy that's 11-7 in decisions, and he fights extremely damn close in a lot of his fights. And I could say I'm almost certain Mikel is going to win round 3 here. Like, I really believe he wins round 3 at a high clip. And the other thing you mentioned, Sean, physicality, bigger, much bigger than his opponents. That's not happening here. We got a guy that dropped from 205 to 185 and a guy that moved up from 170 to 185. It's not the same anymore, you know? So, and also, you know, for people that think he can grapple, I honestly don't hate Mikel, like how he digs underhooks. He doesn't do a bad job stuffing takedowns. It's just that, you know, when guys are superior in the grappling, like way superior, you just, you know, they chain wrestle and they get him down and stuff. But I just don't think that's Michel Pereira. Maybe he explodes into a takedown. I don't know if he's going to just hold him down and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I like the the Olejniczak side and by decision, plus 510. Tim.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I'm on I think that when Sean, you were talking about the KO, I think it happens early as well. I don't think it's a late round thing. The pressure is what really gets, like, again, I would agree with Narco. I think the pressure is really what gets to Pereira. And I feel like the kind of fighters that you want to match up against Olejniczak are really good wrestlers. I mean, they have to be really good, and they have to be able to chain wrestle, and they have to be able to have good jiu-jitsu to be able to finish him. If you have that, it's a great matchup against him. He clearly has a clear weakness in his game there. This is not that. I mean, Pereira, number one, doesn't grapple hard in fights. He doesn't go like super hard going for takedowns. If he does, he fucking gasses. So I think if he does that, it'll open him up to getting finished. And as well as I don't think he's big enough and strong enough and physical enough to do it over and over and over. And the other type of fighter, if you're fighting like a striker versus him, like Jacoby in that fight, just managed range and just out volume him, and just, was defensive against, the big shots, and basically didn't let him get into the firefight and just danced around. Like, if you have guys that are defensively responsible, or that can, that can grapple really, really well, I think those are the kind of matchups that you want against Olejniczak. But a flashy striker that really isn't low, that's super, like, he's not really high volume, is not great off of his back foot, needs range to get off of kicking. Like, he's not going to get that against Olejniczak. So I'm with you, Mike. I think Pereira is going to be durable enough to withstand a beating. And I think that the majority of the volume and the majority of the big shots are going to come from Olejniczak, and he's going to win a decision here at plus I think 470 on FanDuel. So you said 510 somewhere. So I like that. And if it's close and it's an end split, he's 12-1 to win by decision. So
Bet Rivers is 510. I wanted to mention one more thing, and I forgot. Oh, you said flashy striker. He just faced the same guy last fight. We saw how that went, and that striker is a much better technical striker than this striker. So, Njokuani in round one is fucking hell on wheels, bro. Like, he landed a head kick in that fight, dude. And this guy started doing the chicken dance, but he survived, man. He's tough as nails, man. I really like Olejniczak because he's just a one-trick pony, but he's so fucking good at it and so tough. Let's move on. Fight number 5. It is in the light heavyweight division. It is the 17-5 Felipe Lins versus the 17-9-1 Ion Cutelaba. I will kick this one off. I don't love much here, but round 1, Cutelaba's 275. It's a used Lambo. I can't stand Lins, to be honest. I think his chin is still dust. I don't believe his chin is good. Cutelaba is a madman for the first round. I just think he's going to catch this guy, man. I think he's going to catch him with his craziness. And, can he get caught? Sure. Yeah. And if the fight goes deeper, probably favor Lins. But I just have an inkling he's going to knock this guy out in round 1, to be honest. I don't know what it is, why I think that. But I think Cutelaba round 1 plus 275. I'm not going to go any crazier here. But that's a great, by the way, if you have Hard Rock, it's a really, really good price because nowhere else do they have plus 275 for round 1 on Cutelaba. Tim, what do you got?
Yeah, I think this is just a clear Ion round 1, Lins round 2, round 3 such a situation. I mean, Ion is shown over and over and over that he doesn't have the cardio, doesn't have the fight, gives up after he doesn't get his game off. If he doesn't get his game off in the first 5 minutes, he's done minus, I think, 1 fight that he went to decision and was able to lay and pray after that. So since you took the round 1 for Ion, I'll go on the other side. I'll hope and pray that Lins can survive 5 minutes and maybe get some, able to stay in the clinch or be able to stay upright. And take the round 2 is plus 750. Round 3 is plus 1600. If you wanted the sub 2, sub 3 is plus 1500. Don't hate those either. I think it's round 2. If he gets him out of round 1, I think he probably finishes in round 2 for Lins.
Yeah, I like the sub 2-3 because Ian loves to, just stick his head right in there. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, I'm about to be a lot different than you guys. I think Cutelaba is the side. Pretty large, actually. Marcin Prachnio, Ovince St. Preux, Maxime Grisham. These are this guy's wins. These are fucking bums. And Ion Cutelaba has been fighting the top of the top for forever. this Marcin Prachnio or this Felipe Lins guy, he's 38 years old. Ian is 30 years old. Felipe Lins, he has no ass. Look at this guy. No ass at all. He's not facing any takedown attempts in any of these fights at all. Go look at it. The only takedown attempts he's been facing have been against, Maxine Grisham in round 3 when they're both tired and they're not even real attempts. So I think that this guy is fool's gold. I think a lot of people are going to bet on Felipe Lins this week, and I think they're going to lose. And to be honest with you, I like the Ion Cutelaba money line. I like Ion. I also think that this fight, honestly, could go the distance. I know that's going to sound crazy, but I think it could GTD. I think it could be Cutelaba wrestling. Maybe he's a little tired in rounds 2 or 3, but he could still hit takedowns. And I think he could probably just outwork this guy. Even if you look at their metrics, like if you go to UFC stats and look at previous fights, Cutelaba will outwork in later rounds this Felipe Lins guy. This guy is just being propped up by 3 of the easiest opponents you could possibly face in his last 3 fights. So I really like Cutelaba. I think he's going to do a lot more, and he's going to win this fight. Yeah, maybe it happens early, but I mean, you can't really go wrong for my Lambo. I'm going to do Cutelaba decision plus 850, and I'm going to do goes the distance at plus 320.
Listen, I've been thinking about playing Cutelaba all freaking week.
He's the side.
It's been thinking. I think you just pushed me over the edge because I honestly think kind of the same way. Like I don't rate Lins that good, man. The guy is just beating bums, and
I think he KOs him in round 1, to be honest.
Yeah,
let's be real here, guys. Has Lins's cardio looked good in 2-3? Why is everybody loving the 2-3 props? Like this guy went life and death with Marcin Prachnio.
I do think that the thing for the sub 2-3 is because the way Cutelaba, when he starts getting tired, he shoots like an idiot. He puts his head in there. And I've seen if you watch the PFL fights, right? He does go for those guillotines, honestly. Yeah, I really paid attention. And I think he has one actually in his career.
Didn't he get in Bellator?
Hold on, I'm going to look it up right now. I thought he had one, maybe 2. No, he has one.
Yeah,
he has one guillotine choke in PFL.
2018.
Yeah. And he goes for them, like in other fights in PFL. I saw him go for them when people put their necks in there. So the only thing is, like, when Cutelaba is tired, he gets really fucking sloppy. And, you know, I could see that portion. But, yeah, I don't rate Lins's cardio good at all. You know, I see a lot of people saying he's on the roids. He's been on the roids for, 3-4 fights now. He hasn't really looked great. I mean, yeah, he knocked out Ovince St. Preux, but come on, man. Ovince St. Preux is done, but look at the Prachnio fight. You know, he didn't look good in that fucking fight. You know, he won the fight. He did not look good in that fight. He got rocked, actually, by the way, in that fight by Prachnio. So, yeah, let's move on here. I'm glad Sean had that good take on Cutelaba because I think he might have just pushed me over the edge to make that money line play. Fight number 6. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 20-8 Pedro Munhoz versus the 11-2 Kyler Phillips. Timothy, this one's yours. This one's a good fight.
Yeah, this is a fight where, Pedro's obviously aging. I think Kyler Phillips is a kind of fighter that he fights well early. He tends to slow down in round 3 in every single fight. The Pedro side to me is like, if he can get off on some leg kicks early and try to slow him down, keep the fight really, really close. I just think the fight goes at a high level. I think the fight could be close. So I would take ends by split plus 350. And then if you want to sprinkle light on Pedro by split is plus 900. I think if he wins, I think it's probably going to be a close decision. Probably loses round 1 at a decent clip and then starts maybe winning halfway through round 2, and you never know. So,
all right, Sean, what do you have for this one?
This fight's tough, man. This fight's really tough because he's getting older, man. we've made some money on Pedro and some sneaky spots, and I'm really just thinking about this fight a little bit more. And I have some Pedro money line. I'm not sure I'm going to keep it because I have like an early like plus 235 or whatever the heck it is. The more I'm kind of thinking about it, because the way this Kyler guy fights, he's so Weasley, and he's so able to get out of range. He's really quick, in these early rounds. But for the purposes of this show, I do think it's going to be Pedro decision, or honestly, or system play, just a system play on this Kyler guy, Pedro round 3 for me, because Kyler obviously slows down in these fights. And let's just say that let's just imagine a scenario, okay, where Pedro is able to punt this guy's leg a few times. We really don't know. Once he loses that spring in his step, we've seen him in these fights, dude. Once he loses the spring, he's very susceptible. Like, nothing about his game is traditional, right? So once they get into that phone booth range, he's not that good. So if he loses that spring, I could see Pedro maybe melting him down the stretch, but I would say like a reasonable Lambo play is Pedro decision plus 350.
Yeah, man. This one's a hard one, honestly, from a Lambo side, because on one side, I think this fight goes to decision at a very, very high clip. I even have a bet, over 2.5 here in a parlay. Pedro at this point in his career is basically a decision guy. He's not a guy that's going to push some crazy pace or have huge power to knock guys out. And we've seen, like Phillips, like he has a pretty good chin. He's pretty durable. But, and this is a but, we've seen Munhoz get hurt a little bit early in fights. We have seen that. And we've seen Kyler Phillips hurt a lot of people in round 1. He just, because of his explosion, his quickness, his kicking game, his flying shit, he's very, very dangerous in round 1. Like, he beats almost everybody in round 1. And Wiley's fresh there in round 1. He's extremely dangerous. And we've seen like Pedro in round 1 kind of like come out slow, and I don't think it's going to happen, but it's 1150 on Bet River. On Hard Rock. I'm sorry, on Bet Rivers. It's 1150 on Phillips round 1. If he's going to finish Pedro Munhoz, which no one has, I think it's round 1. And Pedro's a little older. You guys got to remember, Phillips is extremely fucking dangerous. When I say extremely dangerous round 1, he is. I think he almost finished Hani Barcelos in round 1. Wasn't that the round he hurt him very bad?
He didn't almost finish him, but he hurt him.
He didn't. I thought he dropped him in round 1.
He dropped him, but Ione recovered almost instantaneously and went right back.
Yeah. So if you look at it, he dropped that Paiva guy pretty fucking bad. He has, some finishes in round 1 against Gray, and I'm not saying it's happening. It's just that's the only thing I can really find outside of the decision, obviously, prop on Pedro. I don't know if he can win a decision, honestly. I think he loses like first 2 rounds at a decent clip. That's my thing. Like, I honestly want to play Phillips decision minus 108. I think it's I don't want to say it's a very good bet. I think it's a very solid bet, I should say. It's a solid bet.
I capped that decision earlier, and I was like, dude, I honestly think this is like 70%.
Yeah, it really is, and they're giving you minus 108. I kind of want to go play it. That he's not winning round 1. I don't see a world where he wins round 1 unless this guy gets compromised right away. But he's not winning round 1. Even round 2, like this guy's. I know he slows down in round 3. It's accurate, but he's still functional. It's not like he's completely done. Right? In the last couple of fights, like Barcelos fight, it's not like he was completely done. He was still there, functional. Throwing back and everything. So, and Pedro's so old now, man. That's the thing. Like, what is he? 30? Man, he's 37.
37
for bantamweight. We're not talking about heavyweight or lightweight, or it's bantamweight, guys. This guy's not easy to cut weight then. So yeah, that's what I have here. Did Tim go?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's move on. Fight number, man, we're going to hit 600 here. Fight number 7. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 23-2 Matthias Gamrot versus the 32-15 Rafael Dos Anjos. And this one is Sean Orr.
I think it's you, isn't it?
I thought Tim did last one. Didn't he?
I started off last.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it is me. My bad.
It's okay, go ahead.
Yeah, super difficult fight for me as well, because on one hand, I went into tape thinking I was going to really like the RDA side. And the issue here, and I know that he's going down in weight, but I think it's a negative because he's old. He's fought at this weight class before, but, you know, he's up there, dude. He's 39 years old, man. Like, this guy is old, so old. Been in wars, been around for forever. So I don't know, man. I really wanted to play this RDA side, but just watching him get out wrestled by Vicente Luque, and it was just the way he was getting out wrestled. It was like leg attacks, right? And what does Gamrot do? He goes for these low singles, and you just got to think at a certain point, at a certain age, like, is RDA capable of scrambling at the level of Arman Tsarukyan? I don't even think he's ever shown it in his career that he can scramble like that. So I do feel like it's a bit of a layup for Gamrot. So for the purposes of the Lambo Plays show, I'm going to fade the age. I'm going to go with Gamrot KO plus 420. I think that if there's going to be a finish here, it's probably going to be the Gamrot side. It's probably going to be catching an old man, hurting him, finishing him, maybe getting a dominant position and ground and pounding, trying to make a statement, because this division's wide open, man. Gamrot, you know, he can't get a title shot off of freak injuries, right? He needs to show some finishes here. So it's a little bit of narrative, a little bit of age, and a little bit of the fact that all these lines fucking suck, because I think it's Gamrot decision. But we're doing 420 Gamrot KO.
Yeah, man. I have a hot take for this one, honestly. And I did a lot of tape for this one. I just wanted to make sure, like, I crossed my T's, I dotted my I's. And the one thing that stuck out to me with RDA is, yeah, he got grappled in that fight against Luque. But I think Luque's size and physicality bothered him more than anything. Like, Luque is a big dude. He's a 70-pounder. He's a real 70-pounder. And, you know, he got taken down a bunch there. He still got up. If you watch that fight, it's not like he got taken down, just destroyed on the ground. He got up. The other thing people fail to realize, in that 5-round fight, he lost 48-47 on 2 scorecards. Not like he got fucking killed in that fight. You know, he won 2 rounds on 2 judges' scorecards. So it's like 3-2. Okay, fine. But now, you know, he's facing a guy at 55 in Gamrot who's, listen, he's a hell of a fucking grappler. He's a hell of a wrestler. But what's his minus? What's the thing that he doesn't do well? He doesn't fucking control anybody, Sean. There's nobody that he controls on the ground. He really doesn't. And I do think RDA is extremely fucking hard to control on the ground. He's not easy guy to control. He's faced, the thing with RDA, what I like is he's faced better grapplers than fucking Matthias Gamrot, right? And he's came out on decent on some of those ends, like not horribly wrong. He's faced some of the best grapplers in the division. And, you know, he did well in a lot of those fights. So it's like, for me, at 55, can Gamrot take him down? Sure, he can kick him down. But I think on the feet, I think, honestly, RDA fucks him up. He's way better striker, in my opinion, like watching it on the feet. Like, I think Gamrot could be improving. Of course, yeah, he's still young. But I don't think on the feet it's even close, honestly, when it comes to striking. I think RDA's striking is way better than Gamrot's. The thing with Gamrot is over and over on tape, it's like he doesn't hold people down. So, okay, maybe it's rinse and repeat, but there's better grapplers that couldn't rinse and repeat like that against him. Like, a lot of them were at 70. He fought Colby Covington. He fought every fucking buddy. You know what I'm saying? And I know he's 39, but go back and watch the fight against Pereira, the 37-year-old Pereira in that fight. Like, he landed a weird knee and the fight's not, but he could not fucking control Pereira in that fight. He took him down. He could not control him. You know, and it's like, every time this guy goes to decision, it's always close. Every fucking fight goes to decision, it's close. And it's like, I think this fight goes to decision. I don't think he's finishing, honestly, RDA. And when you just look at this guy going to decision, it's always fucking close. No matter, I understand he's fighting decent, good guys, but I think RDA is still a good guy. I don't think he's like completely washed. So RDA by split is 1,400. And RDA by decision, you can some places have 600. Yeah, man. I honestly think RDA can win this fight. I think the line's too wide as well. Gamrot's just not a guy that covers fucking minus 500. He doesn't. Unless he finishes you, he's not covering these prices because he doesn't do a lot of damage and he really can't control many of his guys. So I think RDA is a fucking demon on the ground. It's not easy to control this guy. He's got jiu-jitsu. Not like he's a fish down there. So the age is the only thing that you could say, okay. But when you put on the tape, it's always at 70, man. It's always the guys that are much bigger, much stronger than him. He should not be. This guy's tiny. I know he has muscles, but he's tiny for 170 pounds. He's 5'8" or something. He's too small for 170. So, yeah. I mean, I like RDA here, honestly. Split decision. I don't think he's doing finishing or anything, but I think this fight goes to decision at a very, very high clip. What do you like here, Tim?
Yeah, you took my hot take, man. I think the same thing. I think that this fight, the Lambo plays that I would go with would be end split, plus 300 RDA points, plus 550 and RDA by split. I think, like you said, I mean, I think Jalen Turner won the fight against Gamrot. That was a close split decision that Gamrot won. I thought Dariush was just clearly dominant against him, and he had nothing on the feet versus him. Couldn't get him down. Was extremely frustrated in that fight. Got hurt a couple times. I think you can make an argument that Arman beat him as well in that fight, and he got a unanimous decision. I think that fight was at best a split decision win for Gamrot, but actually more damage was done by Arman. And just recently, you're just not seeing control grapplers get any type of credit at all. Like you just like guys that are going for takedowns and just repeatedly rinsing and repeating takedowns and doing nothing with them are not winning fights. They're just not. They're not getting credit for that at all. So I think that this is, if it's like RDA winning moments on the feet and then getting taken down and then getting up and then hitting them a couple times and then getting taken down, which is very fucking likely, that the judges will go like, yeah, but you're not doing anything. Like you're just going for takedowns and you're fucking just controlling. And I just think recently they're just not giving any credit to control grapplers. So I think ends by split plus 300 and RDA split. I think RDA split is kind of like his path in this fight, and they're hanging 14-1.
Oh, the one other thing I wanted to mention is well, I don't know if it's a thing or not. But if you look at Mateusz Gamrot and kind of like the fighters he struggled against, right, in his fights, a lot of them now you could see they're like southpaws, dude. Like Dariush, southpaw, Pereira, southpaw. He was struggling with these guys. And what's the other tall guy? Jalen Turner, southpaw, right? He's struggling with southpaws, and RDA's. I kind of feel like he's a little similar. Like, yeah, I know Benny Dariush has very good defensive wrestling and stuff, but I kind of feel like they're similar guys. They trained a lot together. They throw that left body kick a lot, and I don't know. We'll see. And to be honest, I think RDA's actually might be a cleaner striker, to be honest, than even a guy like Dariush. So
he is.
Huh?
Yeah, he is. He's cleaner for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, the wash narrative, it could be. It could be that he's completely done, but I don't want to write that off because he lost, like I said, he lost 48-47 on 2 scorecards. I mean, is it that washed? Was he that washed? At 70 against a big guy like that? And I also think, you know what? He didn't expect Luque to grapple, honestly. I think that caught him maybe by surprise. Like, Luque doesn't grapple like that, and he just put on a grappling clinic for some reason. Let's move on. Fight number 8. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 18-5 Caitlin Sermonera versus the 13-2 Macy Barber. And For you guys that don't know this newcomer named Sermonera, she used to be called Chookagian. Really, there's not much here that like Lambo weighs, except Chookagian split. I think she wins this fight. I have played her money line for 2 units at plus 185, I think, or something like that. 200 maybe. But yeah, Caitlin split is 800. I think it's a close fight. I don't buy this Macy Barber. Everybody loves all of a sudden. She's a great fighter. She looked fucking great. Oh, incredible. Macy Barber looked incredible against fucking Amanda Ribas, who's a walking punching bag on the feet. We know that. She always gets hurt. She has a bad chin. She has terrible defense on the feet, right? These things are not what Chookagian is. She moves around. She's a big girl too. And 2 fights ago, right? 2 fights ago against Andrea Lee, who looks absolutely washed, if you ask me, right? Less than a year ago, she won a debatable fucking split decision, right? Now, all of a sudden, after Ribas, Macy Barber's the world. She's the best. Like, come on, guys. Let's fucking hold our horses here. She looked like dog shit against fucking Andrea Lee, who looks washed. Now, all of a sudden, she killed Ribas, and she's the best. So, no thank you. I'm going to go with the more seasoned veteran in Chookagian. I know she's 35, but let me tell you, man, she looked in the best career shape that I've ever seen her. Like, look back. Like, this is the best she's ever looked. So, I know all that stuff, miscarriages. People love to, like, bring in all these narratives. How do you know how that affects her? Maybe it helps her. I don't know. What I can tell you is she looks in phenomenal fucking shape. That I can tell you. So, I'm going to look at the matchup. I'm going to look at the fact that this girl is not easy to beat. She's going to fight close against almost everybody, right? Even Ferro fight, she took round 1 off of her, and then she lost the next 2. But Ferro is just a different beast with her kick. The kicks bothered her more than anything. Like, she just didn't know how to deal with that side kick, the fucking front kick, and that's just how Ferro fights. She's an awkward fighter. It's hard to fight her. But, yeah, man, I'm going to have to go Chook here. Like, split decision is 800. I don't know what else to say. Barber's probably has the power edge, but I don't think she's the better striker, like, technically speaking. Tim, what do you like here?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think you got Chookagian is like 3 inches or 4 inches taller than her. She's got a 3-inch reach advantage on her. I think in this kind of fight, those are big measurables. This is going to be a battle of kias versus like air punches from 5 feet off. Like, just Barber, like you said, Barber got a major robbery against Lee, and I think she also got a major robbery against Miranda Maverick. I think both of those fights are like clear losses, and I just, you just put it like, what's the line if she loses to Lee? What's, what I'm saying? Like, what's the line if she loses to even Maverick in these situations? Knocking out Amanda Ribas. I mean, we cashed huge on Amanda Ribas, and I think she is a solid fighter minus her chin, but like, she's hittable and she can be knocked out versus virtually anybody. So I think this is just another situation where the market is kind of looking at a older fighter and looking at a hype job in Barber, who again, not really seeing like the, all round 3 Barber is like a mythical creature. I'm not seeing it. Like, I've been watching her fights. I'm like, I don't see it. If she gets her in the clinch, maybe she can do damage in the clinch, but that, like, at range, I just don't see her being super dangerous at all. So yeah, ends by split. Used Lambo plus 275 if the fight, cover both sides if the fight goes to split, and then Chookagian by split at plus 800 are solid bets.
Honestly, I think Chookagian probably get takedowns if she wants. To be honest, I
completely agree.
And she's been working on her grappling. If you see on her IG, so go ahead, Sean. I don't want to. Maybe that's your narrative, but let me give it off to you.
Nah, I'm not doing the whole Chookagian submission thing. I'm not doing that. I mean, she's all 11 of her wins are by submission or by decision. I'm not looking to hunt for a submission here, but I will tell you guys, I plugged this into my miscarriages algorithm, and it came out with Chookagian being the better striker, more output, better in the clinch, really good overall MMA fighter, great at winning decisions. And it looked at Macy Barber and it said, hey, this girl needs to hurt girls in order to win fights. So if you like the Macy Barber side, I would definitely be looking at like a KO 1-2, just age narrative fade. But this is Chook season, baby. I got Chook money line. I think if the Lambo show, you have to come up with a play, it's going to be the split, but let's do used Lambo Chook decision all day. Chook is clear side, guys. It's WMMA.
I mean, you know what the crazy is?
Come on. How many of these girls, dude? Chook has beaten so many girls.
I was just going to say that, bro. Look at the level of competition and who she's beat, man. It's not fucking close, bro.
And they're not robberies like Macy. Like Macy's
not fucking close with her wins are. I mean, some of them are questionable, like they're close fights. She gets awarded. But, bro, like, look at the fucking wins. They're undeniable. Jennifer Maia twice. Fucking Araujo once. Ribas. Who else did she beat? She beat someone else. Irene Aldana. Like, I mean, it's not even fucking close in the amount of wins and who she beat compared to the other girl. But
Mbe brought up a great point, dude. Sorry to cut you off. Women don't age in MMA like the man. And I 100% agree. Look at some of these girls that are in like their like, I don't know, late 30s. Like some of these elite girls who have put in the work, which is Chook, and they know their game. They know how to win fights. Like they do well later into their years, I feel. So Chook season, baby. Let's go, boys.
All right. Everybody's on Chookagian here. I love it. I love to see it. Man, we are smashing records, Tim. I don't even want to say this number right now. 666 is the amount of live viewers here. What the heck? I look up and that's the number. I'm like, how did this happen? All right, 668. Thank you, guys. 668 live viewers. Man, talk about smashing records. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much. We will move on. Fight number 9. It is in the heavyweight division. It is the 17-4 Curtis Blaydes versus the 20-2 Jailton Almeida. And I think this one is Timothy's.
Boy, I've been going back and forth on this one a bunch. This is a tough fight because we don't really know what Blaydes is going to do. I think his fight IQ has been, a little bit iffy sometimes. And 100% what you're going to get out of Jailton Almeida. The question, obviously, the biggest question to me, there's a few, is what does Blaydes look like off of his back, and what is he going to do if he gets his back taken in this fight? And I just think that we don't have any data on that to say there's an answer to it all on that situation. What I do know for sure is if this fight, if he is able to counter grapple, and if he is able to keep this fight on the feet, I feel like he is just going to massacre Almeida on the feet. That I'm the most confident in. So that way I'll kind of go with that. I'll kind of go with, even if he gets taken down in the first round, that he's live to KO in round 2 or round 3. KO for Blaydes is plus 210, but I'll take the KO, and then the KO round 2 is plus 850. KO 3 is plus 1300. I'll just basically go on he's got the best wrestling that Jailton has seen so far, and if he can counter grapple and keep him at distance, I think he's gonna piece him up.
All right, we got the biggest fight on the card when it comes to taking sides here. MMA Twitter is going nuts over this fight. Sean Orr, which side are you on and why?
I hate this fight. I bet Blaydes earlier in the week got out of the position. Small loss already on this fight for me. Just getting hit by the VIG from the sports book. So, yeah, fuck this fight. For the Lambo show, The issue I have, Tim, with the KO, because I agree with you, like in theory, I agree with you, but I don't know what these bookies are thinking. If maybe they saw the Aspinall leg injury and factored it into the line making, but having Blaydes KO at plus 210 feels kind of crazy to me. That's pretty low relative to what he's shown in his fights. So, I mean, to me, I'm more inclined to the Almeida side. Maybe it's the hype. Maybe it's the fact that Blaydes has burned me so many times. Maybe it's the other fact that Blaydes, he sure didn't look like the big man at the weigh-ins. So much for the guy who wrestled at 280 pounds in college. Looking a little lean, a little older, been in the UFC. Almeida's packing on the muscle. Jiu-jitsu, man. Does Blaydes have good jiu-jitsu? We also watched the Nicky Rod YouTube. It didn't look like he was a genius defending back takes. It didn't look like he was that great at those positions. So I think if you're on the Almeida side, it's just a coin flip, right? What are you going to do? You're going to take points at plus 420 or are you going to take sub at plus 350? I'm going to roll with the sub because I feel like Derek Lewis is an unsubmittable man for an arm triangle. The guy has no fucking neck. So I think that's the only reason why that fight went the distance. So give me Jailton Almeida by submission plus 350. Almeida by sub round 2 at plus 1200. That's what we're rolling with.
Yeah, man. This is another one I had a pretty big bet on Blaydes early. Had a good line, but then as I thought about it more and I said to myself, listen, I don't know how Blaydes' takedown defense is going to look. I don't know. I don't think anybody fucking knows, to be honest. So if you don't know that, honestly, you're kind of blindly betting this fight, hoping that he could stuff takedowns because of his wrestling background and, he keeps it standing and knocks them out, right? But if its takedown defense is bad and he can't stop the takedowns, he's pretty much screwed, if you ask me. In his fights where he got taken down, I know they're old, but he honestly gives up his back like a normal wrestler would. Like wrestlers give up their back to get up. They never want to be flat on their stomach. And I think this is a terrible guy to fucking give up your back against. And the other thing that stuck out is the size, man. Fucking Almeida did not look undersized at fucking all at face-offs. If anything, I know he doesn't weigh more, but man, he looked like fucking thicker and bigger, man. And that's not good. Honestly, that is not good to see because I really thought Blaydes was going to be much bigger than this dude at face-off. So I didn't think they were going to be what they looked like, at face-off. So, how could you not play sub at plus 350? If you think you like the Jailton side, I know it could possibly go to decision like the Lewis fight, but I'll say something, and I think this is very important, actually. Lewis is much tougher than Blaydes is, in my opinion. Like, he's a guy that, he can dig deep a lot more than I think than Blaydes can. That's just what I think. Like, I honestly think that if Jailton gets to those positions that he got against Lewis, he's going to finish. Whether it be ground and pound, whether it be sub, I think he's going to finish him. So I was so close. I didn't know where to go on this because I honestly think KO's live, believe it or not, with ground and pound. I really do. But I went with the sub because I do think this guy gives up his back. It's 350. It's the best line we've seen on Jailton sub in a very, very long time. So I said I'm going to take advantage of it. I think plus 350 is, pretty good here. Yeah, there's not much else to say here. Like it's still an unknown. Like there's no one that can confidently say one side or the other, this is what's going to happen. Not from tape, at least. Will Jailton go for takedown? Sure. But we don't know if he's going to get stuffed or not. And if he doesn't get stuffed, he wins easily. And if he does get stuffed, he probably loses very easily. So, Tim?
Yeah. I think the only thing I'd add to what I said earlier is the takedowns that we saw Blaydes get taken down way earlier in his career, where both guys hit him. I mean, like, first of all, he was death gassed against Volkov when he got taken down by him. It was the end of the round, really probably totally unexpected to get taken down at that moment. And then it was Reed or something like that he got taken down by, like, he got hit in that one too. So like the guy's like, he's actually worried about the striking. So the only part that I'm like a little bit more bullish on the takedown defense in this fight is like, I don't really think he's got to worry about anything other than it. You know, like the dude's going to be shooting. He knows he's going to throw a front kick and then he's going to shoot a takedown instantaneously.
But my thing is, who has even fucking tried to take him down?
I don't disagree. I just think that
the question is, like, the people that have tried have gotten them down, which is a little scary, right? That's the scary part, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously, you made good points where he was death gas and he got not taken down. The Cody East, one of the takedowns he was not hurt. The second one, he was hurt. He got hurt and then he got the takedown. The one of them, he was not hurt and he got him down. So, I mean, that was years and years ago. Brandon Olivas, I'm going to give him credit. He made a good point in my Discord. He said, well, that fight, he was probably more fresh out of college wrestling than he is now. So he should have stuffed takedowns easier then than he should be stuffing them now, which, hey, it's a fucking good point. This guy's wrestled all his life. Why was he getting taken down by this fucking Cody East guy? Unless that guy's an All-American. I don't know. Maybe he is. I didn't really research him, but
Curtis Blaydes has lost me so much money. Like I almost have to go on your guys' side eventually if I'm going to bet on this fight. I have 0 bets on it, but like, if I do bet.
I have a question a little bit off the Lambo Plays topic, but how do you feel about this under 1.5? This is like the most generous Almeida under 1.5. It's plus money, bro. Under 1.5. All his fights have been like massive juice, like minus 300s on this under 1.5.
But he's fighting squash matchups for the most part, guys that have no grappling, and I think that kind of bakes into the line.
It's like a 30% swing on these prices, though. It's kind of interesting.
I mean, listen, he can get bonked too.
That's why I think it's a good bet.
I think Blaydes hits hard, dude. Like, I don't care what anybody said. Like, you watch his striking, he hits pretty fucking hard, and he's a big dude. Like, can Almeida take those shots? I don't think so, honestly. If he lands perfectly, he's not taking those shots.
I kind of think that somebody gets their game off in the first 7.5 minutes of this fight.
Yeah,
like, it's plus money. I think it happens definitely more.
The only thing you could see is maybe a little bit of clinching and shit like that kind of burns off the clock. I could see that. That could be
if it's a closer battle grappling wise, right? I think that's if somebody has a big edge though. If Gelatin has the edge that we think he has on the ground, which he does from the JIT standpoint, then he should have opportunities. And then if Curtis doesn't, if Curtis has the edge, then I like the same thing. Like, I feel like he should be able to easily knock him out. Like, dude got knocked out in regionals. Like, I definitely think.
Listen, I flipped on this. I can't say anything. I flipped on this fight. I was on Blaydes, but then I said to myself, why? Like, this is kind of forcing a play where you're thinking, oh, he's a wrestler. He can stuff takedowns. On the feet, he's much better. We know what's going to happen on feet. He's faced better guys, blah, blah, blah. But that was all kind of like I was building shit in my head just to confirm my play, which is not right because I really can't see that from tape, honestly, like that he can stuff takedowns. I don't see it. So, let's move on here. Fight number 10. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 16-5 Peter Yan versus the 21-7-1 Yadong Song. And I think this one is yours, Sean.
All right. I'm on the Yan side. I like Yan in general here. I think it's a buy low spot. Yan has been like minus 300, minus 250 against guys who are, in my opinion, better than Song Yadong. So I already have his money line. And when I'm looking at these Lambos, it's really tough, right? Because I do think that this fight goes the distance. And I do think it's a close-ish fight where Yan is going to just be the more technical kickboxer. He's just going to land the better strikes. He's going to have the more impact, the bigger moments, be a little smarter. I don't think that there's going to be a whole lot of grappling here. I know some people have said, Yan has takedown upside. Song has takedown upside. it's going to be 15 minutes of kickboxing, and you've got to believe that Petr Yan has seen 500 Song Yadongs in the sparring room. He has sparred this guy a bunch of times. He's going to know what to do here, guys. So I did play Yan decent size at pick, and I think it's a good spot. And if I had to, pick a Lambo play for this, it would be a system play. Song Yadong has gotten tired in some fights, so I would go with Yan round 3. You can get like plus 1,700 or something like that. So I like the money line, though. I'm sorry. I know it's the Lambo Plays show, so you guys convinced me on a better Lambo than Yan round 3.
Well, I'm going to try to convince you on one because I really like the Yan side as well. I have a play on him as well. But I do think this fight's going to be close. Like there's not a scenario, honestly, in my head that doesn't play out. This fight is going to play close. Hold on. Let me fix my shitty camera that's doing that. I don't know why it's doing that. You know what I'm saying? I don't see many scenarios where this fight doesn't play close in the sense that, Yan, he's got okay power, I would say, at best. He's not really a power guy. He's a volume guy that kind of touches you up throughout the rounds. He's a more technical guy, a lot of kicks. He's got way more variety than Yadong Song on the feet. That's one thing that sticks out for sure when it comes to striking. But I can't not think that Yadong Song is going to land some big shots, right? And, that's the thing. When you land a big shot and it let's just say it doesn't really knock him down or anything, but it wobbles him a little, which you can see. Yeah. I mean, as tough as Yan is, Yadong Song hits very fucking hard. And, to me, he hits much harder than Sean O'Malley does. And we saw Sean O'Malley hurt Yan in that fight. So, I do think that split decision is a okay bet. The problem is the line sucks. The line is just horrible on split. It's plus 320 on a men's fight. It's never that low. So how I'm going to deviate from that is the fact that I think it's close, right? And I think it's going to be a close decision. And I like the Yan side because I think he has more volume, more variety. I'm going to take Yan split. Even that is like really shitty, honestly. But there's really not much else to see here. Like it's plus 600. There's really, I can't give you something that I really don't think is going to hit, right? The one that I think might hit is Yan split decision plus 600. I think both guys are extremely durable. Both guys are extremely tough. Fights probably going to decision, like at a very, very. What is fight goes to decision? Honestly, what is it? Minus 235. I honestly think that has value. I honestly think this fight goes to decision 80% of the time. So minus 400 is probably accurate, not minus 235. Like, in what world is Yan finishing this guy? I don't see it, man. Song looks fucking tough as nails. I don't see Yan finishing this guy. And it's very hard for me to see him finishing Yan. So it's like, shouldn't it be like 80%, Sean? Am I crazy? Minus 400?
It's tough to say. I mean, it's not a number I would lay. But yeah, I see your point. I think there are better GTDs available. But yeah, you're saying you think it's 80%. I mean, Yan very rarely finishes somebody, and Song Yadong is probably going to have most of the finishing upside, and I just don't see him finishing Yan. So maybe you are onto something. Maybe it's going to look like one of those GTDs that Gugabe just is pulling his hair out because it went GTD.
Bro, 235 is a low. I mean, to me, that's too low. Like, what is that implied? 68? What is that?
You said 233?
35. 68?
Isn't that above
70 maybe? No, it's 233 is
70, right?
Yeah.
You said 2 what?
35. It's right
so
there, I think.
235 is, it's 70. So it's 70.15.
I think you get 10% on this line, to be honest. I really believe it should
I think you might be right, honestly. But
should be minus 400. Like, this fight, 8 out of 10 times it's going to decision. No one can convince me otherwise, honestly. So I might look at it. I might even play it, to be honest. I think that line's low. Tim, what do you got here?
Yeah, man, I'm on the same ones as you are. I got ends by split and Jan by split. I think that I'm not going to be like just repeating everything that you said, but both these fighters are durable. I think the Song fight, when he got finished by Sandhagen, it was in round 4. He was getting pieced the fuck up in that fight, hit a bunch of times really hard. He had to have a doctor stoppage, so it wasn't even like him getting KO'd. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like Jan also doesn't necessarily have the same type of like flashiness and like just even like power that you could see from Sandhagen in that situation. So yeah, I mean, the volume and the just a cleaner striking, way more defensively responsible from Jan than Song is. Song usually just takes one to give one or takes 2 to give one so he can get his bigger power shots off. And I just think that, like Sean said as well, I just think that Jan's faced this kind of guy before and knows how to fight that style and knows how to stay at range and pick his moments. And I think it, like you said as well, I think it could easily be close. I think there could be some moments that Song looks like he's, hit him with some good shots, but I think the volume side will be, and just cleaner strikes will be from Jan here. Don't disagree with Sean with what he said in the chat here as well. Like, I mean, the money has been coming in on Song all week. Like, it's not like everybody's not on Jan. I think that it's very, I think maybe even 60-40 from what I've seen on Song.
All right, let's move on. Fight number 11. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 22-6 Gilbert Durinho Burns versus the 16-2 Jack Della Maddalena. And I think this one is mine, right?
Yes,
sir. The last one. I love taking this one actually because I like my guy here, man. I love Jack Della. I think Burns is not going to be able to take the shots from Jack Della. I know, I know there's a big grappling edge for Burns, but honestly, I like Jack's takedown defense. I think he has good takedown defense. I think he's very strong. I think he's going to be the bigger guy in the cage. And man, like his boxing is just next level, man. It's really fucking good. Everything in combinations, uppercuts, body shots, you name it, he throws it. And he's going to put a lot of hurting on Gilbert Burns in this fight, in my opinion. And come round 2, round 3, this one's finishing, in my opinion. So 650, JDM2. It's not much off from his KO, so don't even think about doing that. Like, it's 700, I think. And round 3 on Hard Rock, Sean, is 1100. It's the best line out there on Jack Della. I have a good deal on that. I honestly think he's finishing here. He's finishing a Gilbert Burns that, I know he's tough, and I know he survived against Chimaev, but Chimaev doesn't hit as hard as JDM, nor does he have the boxing and the crisp body shots and everything that JDM has. So, people are going to revert back to the Hafez fight and, say how JDM got taken down. And to me, I think Hafez is a stronger guy. Just watching tape, I think he's stronger than Gilbert Burns and a lot more physical. So, yeah, I mean, I'm all over JDM here, 2-3, 650, 1100. The knockout is coming, and JDM is coming, boys. Tim, what do you have?
Yeah, I believe everything you said there. I think Jack round 1, round 2 for me. I don't know that Burns can last. Actually, I think if he does last through round 1, I don't think that he's going to survive round 2. I think 10 minutes is enough striking that he'll be finished by the 10-minute mark, in my opinion. If he doesn't, then I hope obviously you'll cash. I'm pretty sure you'll cash your round 3. Burns, to me, I really wanted it initially. I wanted to get to the Burns side, and I saw there's obviously some fights with Jack Della that he's shown some grappling, deficiencies against Amiv. He got taken down. He almost got subbed against Lusa. He almost got subbed. But I don't know. To me, I just feel like I don't know where Burns is at right now. I don't know how easy the takedown will be. I think the last fight against Basel Hafez, he was just so stupid in going for gillies in the first 2 rounds. So I don't know. I feel like he'll be able to defend the takedowns, rock the body a few times, and as soon as he rocks the body, he'll lower his hands and he'll just fucking clip him up top, and then that'll be it. So I think round 1 is plus 430, round 2 is plus 650. So don't hate him.
All right, Sean. I have a feeling I know who you're on here.
I mean, I won't belabor the point. It's going to be a similar idea, right? I think it's JDM 2-3. I think if you are on the Burns side, I think you should take his decision line personally. That decision line is plus 470. I think a Burns win looks like him kind of controlling some grappling. I don't think he's going to really advance position. I think he's going to do kind of a Bilal Muhammad type of thing if he is grappling. The thing that kind of really brought me to the Jack side more than the Burns, I think maybe 2 years ago I would have bet Burns, just auto bet Burns, but a couple of things. So Jack's style, the fact that he goes to the body work is like really nice for him here against Burns, but it's also good for defending takedowns. So I think he's going to have his hands a little lower, be able to dig those underhooks. Burns does tend to kind of shoot to the body. He does kind of that type of wrestling. He will go for double legs, but it's not anything special in my opinion. The other thing here too is that I just think that Burns coming off of this 5-round fight that was supposed to be, it was essentially a title shot. Fighters that are coming off of those fights generally lose their next fight, especially if they're 37 years old. So I do think it's Jack's season. I think it's time for a new contender. I think he puts Burns away, probably in round 2.
Let's go, Jack Della season. I know a lot of people are on Burns, but man, I don't know, man. I have some crazy good lines on Jack Della. What is he sitting at now? Oh my God, he's minus 170. I have plus 140 on him.
Nice play.
Oh, all right. Let's move on. Fight number 12. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 25-10 Kevin Holland versus the 21-2 Michael Venom Page. And Timothy, this one is a banger. It's yours.
I like Kevin Holland's personality. I think he's entertaining to listen to, all those things, but he's like virtually unbettable ever since the Wonder Boy fight for me. It's just when you get a guy that gets a guy down and then they literally lets him up, in the win condition is that he stays on the ground with a guy. Add that he's got a broken fucking hand in the fight, and you're like, so you stand up so that you can strike with one hand. Like his fight IQ is just so poor. He's when you need him to grapple, or in a fight like this where you're saying like, okay, are you going to grapple? Like anybody that confidently tells you that they know what Kevin's going to do in this fight is just fucking lying to your face. Like just no idea. Nobody has any idea what this guy's going to do. That being said, like I think MVP is kind of like meh as well. Like I think he's kind of older. Can he catch him with something flashy? Yeah, I think Kevin's durability is solid. To me, this fight is like a ends by split, is like just lock it up. Like just close kung fu versus karate, like plus 400, not too terrible. If you want to take a spot on either one of the guys, they're like 800 and 900, something like that. So I'm not taking a shot on either guy right now. I think that Kevin's a better fighter all around, but he's just so unfucking reliable. And I don't know. To me, ends by split at plus 400 is not bad.
All right, Sean.
We're in all these groups together on Discord, and I've heard some pretty wild takes this week about Kevin Holland, and everybody's so confident with Kevin Holland. Everybody's betting the Kevin Holland money line, and in some regards, I kind of get it, but I do feel like people are slightly their hate for Michael Page is clouding their judgment in terms of what this fight's going to look like. I think it's very likely that this fight is going to suck. First of all, I think this fight is going to be very low tempo. I think that Michael Page is going to do what he always does. He's going to dance around on the outside. He's going to avoid any confrontation. He's occasionally going to land a couple shots. Kevin is going to try and pursue him and just not do a very good job of it. If you watch Kevin in some of these fights, his footwork is pretty damn bad. It's like really bad. In fact, you can see in the JDM fight, it's so bad that Kevin is literally turning around. You know, Kevin's footwork and his ability to stay in the correct position is literally, hey, I'm going to turn my back multiple times in the fight because I have no clue where the exit is here in this situation. So to me, Kevin's boxing and the striking, the ideas that everybody has with the striking is a little bit wishful thinking, because Michael Page, at all points in this fight, he's going to have the ability to just avoid a fight. That's how I feel. But if I'm looking at a Lambo play here, I think that the Page finishing upside is so low in this fight because I think Kevin is tough. And I watch Page in some of these fights, and when he's hitting his opponents, it's usually like he's stunning them with one shot. And it's not like with a Kevin Holland, he can follow him to the ground, right? He doesn't follow guys to the ground in some of these fights who have worse jiu-jitsu than Kevin Holland. So it's not like Michael Venom Page is going to get some TKO victory here. And I don't think he's going to one-hitter quitter Kevin Holland on the feet. So what I struggle with here is a Lambo play. I think if I were going to play a Lambo play, it would be the hopes that Kevin Holland is going to intercept him coming in on one of these, darts that he does, Michael Venom Page, and he knocks him out. Because we have seen Page hurt before. So I think my Lambo play would be Kevin Holland by KO at plus 460. But full disclosure, the way I played this fight, I have to say this for the show, I played the over in this fight. I think it's going the distance. And then I just paired it with Kevin Holland, no scorecards, and minus 150. I feel like that covers literally 90% of the outcomes here. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I feel like it's a really good setup of a bet. And I can't believe the numbers personally. But yeah, Kevin Holland KO.
What's the finish only for Holland?
Minus 150 on FanDuel.
Yeah, I agree with. I think honestly, this is going to be the most boring fight on the card. Believe it or not, everybody's hyped up for this fight. I think it's going to be boring as shit. You know why? MVP is a karate guy with his hands down. He's fucking around a lot. He's very low volume, by the way. And when you take a fighter like that and you fight against Kevin Holland, who's also a yip yapper, he's going to yap in the ring. They're both going to jaw jack in that ring. That's minus 1,000 in the books that they're going to go back and forth jaw jacking in the ring, right? Both guys do that. And Venom Page is very low volume. He's on the outside dancing. He knows fucking Kevin Holland hits very hard. So he's wary of that. He's going to probably throw a lot of kicks. I can already fucking see it. A lot of front kicks, kicks to the legs, in and out. He darts in and out. The one thing he's got to be careful is when he's darting in, he darts in with his hands down. I mean, if Kevin Holland can time a straight right there, he can literally flatline him. I honestly don't think it's going to happen because Kevin Holland is not really that good of a counterpuncher, to be honest. I don't think he's just not that slick, I think the goes I didn't even see the goes to decision was this low, honestly. All week I've been saying I like this fight to go. And now I look that you say that it's only minus 150. I honestly thought it was going to be over 200.
It's a slam dunk.
I'm going to probably play it. Holland Page split plus 400. I mean, like Tim said, how can you not play this? Honestly, I think at plus 400, the way these guys match up, this is a split waiting to happen. And it could be one of those fucking controversial splits where it's, well, he did more, he threw more, but he's throwing at air, and this guy landed more. And it's I have a feeling it's going to be one of those. I don't think there's going to be any grappling. Forget about that. Forget about Holland grappling. I don't think that's going to happen. I think GTD minus 150 is why play a side here even, man? Why play a side? Play GTD and be happy with that. I think both guys are durable, by the way. If you watched the fucking bare knuckle, I mean, this motherfucker ate some big shots in that fight, and he took them. Like, he's been knocked out, I think, once or twice, maybe.
And it was like a crazy knockout. It was like he was coming off the ground, and it was an uppercut.
Yes. And he got kicked to another fucking universe.
Yeah.
Okay. He's only been finished once. Like, the guy has a fucking chin because Mike Perry has fucking hammers for fists in bare knuckle, and he was taking them. So, yeah, man, I didn't even look at it till now you mentioned it. I'm glad you did. This is another play you just like put in my mind because all week I've been saying this fight is boring. It's a goes to decision, and I never even bothered to look at the prop of good GTD, and someone saying it's minus 144 on FanDuel, even fucking better. I think it should be over 200, to be honest. So 70%.
I cap it minus 225.
I mean, think about this. How does Page knock out Kevin Holland?
He's like 5%, honestly.
Head kick, maybe?
Yeah.
Right? I don't see him. He's not knocking him out with the hands. I'm sorry. I don't think Venom Page actually hits that hard, to be honest. Like,
no.
It looks like he throws hard, but I don't think he hits that hard. So, yeah, and Kevin Holland, dude, after seeing JDM land those big shots on him and this motherfucker, like, he just took him. Like, I doubt it that this guy's knocking him out. All right, let's move on. You had this already, right, Tim?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's move on.
You did the split, buddy.
Yeah.
What was that number, by the way, Tim? Was it
400?
That's pretty fucking good, dude.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
Yep. I thought it was going to be like,
I like that better than
300.
I would honestly switch my Holland KO to split. I think split's better.
Yeah, split is really good. I think I already played it. Fight number 13. It's the co-main event of the night. Another one where I think it's mainly one-sided here, but it's a 5-round fight, guys. It's a 29-8 Dustin Poirier versus the 13-1 Benoit Saint-Denis. And this one is yours, Sean. What do you have here?
Yeah, what a fun fight.
800 live viewers. Make it good, Sean.
I got a good one for you guys. So for me, just looking at the numbers, well, let me break down the fight. Okay, so the fight is really interesting, right? Because there's two ways to look at this, to view this, right? One way is Dustin Poirier has no hips. He's going to get taken down. He's going to lose the fight. He's going to get submitted, right? Then the other way to look at this is too much too soon for BSD. He has no defense on the feet. He gets hit all the time. And I happen to lean more towards the BSD gets hit more often. I lean towards that side being a better betting angle because this guy's been hit and hurt in a lot of fights. Not just in the UFC. I mean, he's getting hit in all of his fights. The guy's stand-up sucks. He knows what he's good at, right? So he's going to throw these kicks. And the UFC booked this fight clearly because, Dustin's coming off of this head kick knockout and BSD's coming off of a head kick win knockout. So they wanted to, match it up that way. But I am on the DP side. I have his money line. I think that just skill for skill, I think he's better than BSD. I think that you have to watch a few sequences in Dustin's fights to have confidence. I would encourage everybody to go back and watch round 1 of the Charles Oliveira fight when Charles was slipping around to his back and taking Dustin down, and Dustin pulled a sick double whizzer to avoid that takedown. I think Dustin's takedown defense is not as bad as being advertised personally. And I think he's going to win this fight. And the plays I like, number 1, on Bet Online, they have most significant strikes and Dustin Poirier inside the distance at plus 550. Great bet. It's basically his money line, in my opinion. Dustin Poirier, KO 1 and 2, I like it at plus 700. And then if you're on the BSD side, I like his submission 234 at plus 350. But I'm Dustin all day. I like Dustin to knock him out. I think the hype stops here. This BSD guy, he has not been fighting that long, guys. You have to remember, I don't give a shit if this guy was fucking crawling around in the mud as a French Navy SEAL. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going with the experience. I think he gets knocked out.
Yeah. I wanted to get to the Poirier side. I really did. And I think his takedown defense is overblown, to be honest. Like, I don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be. His get-up game is not bad. But like, here's the thing. BSD in his last fight, honestly, yeah, he won with a head kick. He looked like shit before that. I'm sorry. He's getting tagged up on the feet. He got taken down by Frivola. Frivola was winning up until that point, until he got head kicked, right? But the one thing with this motherfucker that keeps coming out on tape is, like, he's tough as nails, man. Like, he really is. I know he's getting, like, hit and wobbled and, you know, even taken down. Even what Thiago Moises took this guy down, you know? And Thiago Moises was landing some big shots on him. He was swinging from the hip, and he landed some. And Poirier is like a good technical striker with power in his hands, very good boxing. But, like, man, when I see this guy, like, going for takedowns, like, he's just taking you down, bro. Like, and I just don't see Dustin Poirier stuffing takedowns like that against this guy. And you know, I know it's southpaw versus southpaw, and that the one thing I have to say is this is southpaw versus southpaw. So he might get thrown for a loop here. And the thing with BSD is I kind of went back and I said, you know what? Let me see what southpaws has he really faced. And honestly, none. Nicholas Stolze switches, but he wasn't a southpaw. He's faced none. The only guy that showed him a southpaw look was Luan Santiago in the regionals. That's it. Everybody else is orthodox. And so I think that's one key piece of this fight, man, because if you've never fought southpaws, it's a lot different to grab the leg for wrestling, you know, to go double leg or however you want to look at it. It's going to be different to shoot on these guys. It's going to be different to see the punches coming from these guys. So, you know, plus his main weapon is taken away, right? Main weapon, the big body kick. It's taken away here because it's southpaw versus southpaw. He doesn't have it here. Does he throw calf kicks now all of a sudden? I really haven't seen him throw many calf kicks. Have you? I haven't. It's his main kick is that body kick, and it's taken away here. You know, maybe he throws it to that side, but I don't think so. He usually throws it to the open side, and it's against orthodox fighters. So, but I just can't oversee, like, Dustin's older. I know UFC's trying to prop this guy up. I know it. Doesn't mean it can happen. Doesn't mean it works. But I'm just going to go flat round two. I don't think it happens round one. Dustin's tough. He's not just going to insta-sub him or insta-kill him here. But I think round two, I don't know why. It's just one of those feelings that I think he finishes him in round two. It's plus 575. If he doesn't, though, I think he's in big trouble in round 3, 4, 5, to be honest, because his style is using a lot of energy. It's fucking blasting leg kicks, throwing everything into your punches, going crazy on those double legs to get takedowns. Everything is explosive with his movements. I don't know if this guy can go 5 rounds like that, bro. Like, I know he's tough, but if this gets to round 3, middle of round 3, and round 4, this guy is probably fucked, in my opinion. And I think Dustin Poirier is going to absolutely put it on him late. So late round props I played for sure on Dustin. I had to. 3, 4, 5, I have to. Because I see this guy, you know, he pushes through pretty well, but he gets fucking tired. You could see it. And you just can't sustain that type of explosion throughout 5 rounds. I don't see it. So, yeah, I mean, round 2 BSD, but after that, I think it's all Dustin Poirier. And I think it goes past 1, by the way. I don't think anybody finishes in round 1. Tim? Tim is telling us with his mic off.
Sorry about that. Rookie mistake. Yeah, I think Dustin's hips are kind of shit. I mean, he tends to go for guillotines on takedown defense, which is in this fight I think is not going to be smart for him to do. He'd be better off to try to just actually defend the takedowns. I think in round 3 versus Dos Santos, when he was like completely concussed and knocked out 4 times over, he still was attempting takedowns. I think he even got a takedown in that round 3. So to me, I think like he's got the cardio to be able to get to round 2 and round 3. Just for safety standpoints, I would also say potentially round 4 early that he might be able to get him. But I think it's round 2 or round 3 that he finishes in this fight. I do think that I do think it'll be a sub as well. I feel like the back take will be there. And I also feel like the rear naked choke or the neck crank, face crank with he did against Moises. Was it not against Moises? Who did he face crank? I can't remember who it was. But
Bonfim.
Yeah, Bonfim. Like, yeah, he didn't have it under the chin, but it's clear his grip is tight. So to me, yeah, I mean, I don't hate the like you guys are saying. I don't hate the late round props for Dustin if he gets to 3, 4, 5 and he's still there. I do think that he is crazy hittable. I'll also add that I'm not good at betting against Benoit. I've tried to fade him with whatchamacallit last fight and Frivola last fight, and then I think also. Moises, I think I had a small bet on Moises as well, just to try to test him in this fight. And so I'm not really great. I'm not trying to be super confident with this one, but I do think that Benoit does get the sub in round 2 or round 3. It's plus 750 and plus 1200. Plus round 4 is plus 2400. So I probably will sprinkle a little bit on that if I do bet this.
Yeah. I mean, also one thing we didn't mention is level of opposition, man. Like, experience, been in like wars, all of that kind of like favors Poirier. Like, he's been in horrible spots, came back, won. Kind of never seen that with Bonfim. I mean, with BSD, he's never really. I mean, the one fight he just got his ass whipped for 3 rounds. It wasn't like he came back or anything. Like the doctor. I mean, the ref should have saved him, but he didn't, and he just took an ass whipping for 3 rounds. I will say, Sean, to your point, his fucking striking defense is awful, man. It's awful. And listen, you can be so tough. You're going to get knocked out like that. It's bound to happen. And he's been buzzed. Fucking Miranda buzzed him.
Dude, the fly
hurt him. Yeah, 100%.
Let's be real here, dude. Also,
he did hurt him.
Gamrot. Full training camp with Gamrot.
Yeah, I mean,
if there was any guy who was going to help him prepare for this fight, I think it's Gamrot.
I just think he needs to extend the fight. That's my thing. I don't think he needs to go crazy early. I think he needs to touch, not overthrow, because if he does any of that, he's going to get taken down. And I think he needs to touch, jab a lot. He loves the jab. He has that very good jab. So he needs to throw a lot of jabs, kind of have a low stance and just take this guy into deeper waters and see what he's made of, But yeah, 853 live viewers. I thought we were trending towards 1,000 here. Thank you very much, guys. Hit the like down below. Appreciate you guys. If you guys want to join my Discord, it's down below, $25 a month. We have live spaces every Saturday for every fight card. I have some special stream, but we crush the live betting every week, man. No joke. Like, anybody can tell you that's in there. So $25 a month. We killed it today with boxing. Unbelievable bets on boxing. I posted them on Twitter. But yeah, $25 a month, guys. Down below, it's my Discord. And yeah, with that being said, main event of the night. It is for the bantamweight title. It is the 17-1 champion Sean O'Malley versus the 23-8-1 Marlon Vera. I'm going right back to the well. This well is always going to be there for me. I'm not going to stop betting this. I don't care who this guy fights. I know I've been burned by it before, but man, I've made money on this well, big time. And that's 3-4-5 on Marlon Vera. I'm not going to stop playing that. I mean, even the times that it's burned me, it was so fucking close. I mean, the Frankie Edgar fight, he won me round 3. The Dominic Cruz, round 4. You know, Andre Ewell, I even think back then I bet him in round 3. Now he faces a guy that's never been 5 rounds. He can probably blast those legs. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me, man. Hard Rock is putting insane numbers out there for 3-4-5. Again, 2,000, 3,000, and 4,000. So have at it. That is what I like in this fight. I think I like the Vera side, by the way. But I'm kind of been, because the line came down. I was going to play Vera, but the line came down a good deal here. I might just wait to live bet it now. It was like at 250 at one point, and I didn't click it. I should have. But yeah, man, like, how can you not like Cheeto in 5-round fights, right? How can you not like him? I do. I know O'Malley has a decent striking edge, but man, even though the Munhoz fight, I know people say are close, his jab looked incredible in that fight. Vera's jab looked different. I've never seen it like that. And he worked it to perfection. He can switch stances like O'Malley can. So, yeah, man, I like the Cheeto side here. I like the late round props. Let's get those big. Tim, tomorrow you're going to hear me say we only need one, and that's going to come right here. What do you have here, Tim?
Dude, you know me, man. I am a Cheeto stan, dude. I've been on Cheeto so much, so many times. And, yeah, you can't go away from Cheeto 3-4-5. It's just, it's like a fucking system play for me. It's pretty much like lock it in. I will add this though. Like I do think that Cheeto by split at plus 1,600 is also good, because I think it's possible that he loses round 1 and round 2 and then starts to take over, and maybe round 3 is close, or maybe one of those last 3 rounds is like a little bit closer if it does go to decision. But I think just like I said, auto play for me on round 3, 4, 5 for Cheeto. And I feel like O'Malley slows down in fights. Like I feel like in round 3 against Moutinho, even though he got the finish, I feel like he was slowing down there. We haven't seen this guy in round 4 and 5 yet. Also, just the leg kick is always a thing. Like it's a legit issue for O'Malley. Like this is not like something where it's like, oh, that was fucking flukish, memeish. That, you know, yeah, maybe the finish was memeish, and maybe the fact that he hit the nerve and he couldn't walk on it. But the dude eats leg kicks, and he's got chicken legs. Like there's no question that Vera kicks hard enough to fucking damage the leg. So to me, if he can get a couple of those, even if he doesn't like get him in the same situation where he's obviously hurt the nerve and he can't walk at all, like if he can just slow him down and get him just a little bit slower by round 3, 4, 5 when he's starting to pick it up, like he's just a cardio monster. Cheeto's a cardio monster, and I feel like that to me is, you know, I wouldn't be shocked on the split decision for Cheeto at plus 1,600, and I definitely will be betting the round 3, 4, 5 on him as well. And looking to live bet him too, because
I'll tell you what's crazy, something that I've never seen before when I look at lines. Cheeto by split is plus 1,600. Okay, the fight to end in split is only plus 400.
Yep.
And O'Malley by split is plus 550.
So stupid.
How is that right? Something is off there. I don't know which one of those lines.
It doesn't add up. It's like the over. It's
way
like,
off.
It's like the over and O'Malley's like KO props. They're not correlated right. Like
something is not correlated there. Like he can't be 550 by split, and the fight to end in split is 400. Yet the other guy's 1,600. So you're telling me if it ends in split, it's like almost always going to be O'Malley. And I guess maybe they're factoring in the robbery.
Yeah, It's really weird to me too. Is like I would say this is a Lambo as well, because honestly, I've been thinking. I put this down in my notes. I'm like, dude, live Cheeto after round one or a round and a half is going to be a big Lambo. Like, it's going to be a plus 500 or more. Like, I almost guarantee it. Like, if he loses round one and at a decent clip, which he almost always loses round one anyways. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but like, he usually loses round one. He usually starts off slow and gets his reads. He's probably going to be plus 400 or plus 450, maybe 500. So I feel like, I feel like it's really even a live bet on Cheeto, you're going to get a Lambo.
All right. We got guys flooding into the Discord already after I mentioned it. Dude, today's been incredible. I gave out a plus 380 on a regional fighter on Aries, and he absolutely dominated, finished. Sean, your turn, my friend.
Yeah, I agree with so much of what you guys are saying. So I'm going to try and mention some other things that bolster this position. So the first thing I'm going to say just overall is if Song Yadong wins the fight versus Yan, it's Cheeto. Cheeto's going to win this fight, this main event. It's going to be the Song versus Cheeto rematch. That's how it's going to go. I would say just overall with Sean O'Malley, I am nowhere near prepared whatsoever to look at this guy, as the top dog, as the minus 300 against any of these dudes. I don't know why this price is the way it is. I get it. Everybody has this idea about Chito Vera where he's a slow starter. Oh, Sean O'Malley is going to have so much of this volume. How did he accumulate those stats? He accumulated those stats against bums. His stats are totally inflated relative to Chito Vera's, in my opinion. Now, the other thing here too is I feel like there's a very real scenario here where this fight could turn into Sean versus Pedro Munhoz. Pedro Munhoz won round one. I bet Pedro Munhoz in that fight because I felt like somebody who just doesn't give Sean O'Malley the fight he wants, which is to kind of pot shot from the outside, somebody who's going to stand there, kick, just kind of keep that same range as him. Well, what's going to happen there? Well, all the rounds are going to be coin flips, or the kicker's probably going to land more in that scenario. I also like the narrative on the Cheeto side where, all of the media over in Miami right now is the Ecuadorians, right? So everybody's over there for Chito Vera. It's Chito Vera fight week. It feels like it's a whole setup for Chito Vera to win this fight. And I don't know. When I look at the fight, like stylistically too, Sean O'Malley, he really only throws like 1-2s. Like he does throw some kicks, but he's a pretty predictable guy. Yes, he's fast. Yes, he's long. Yes, he looked good against Yan because Yan is super fucking short, but Chito Vera is going to be playing the range with his kicks. And the types of guys that generally beat Chito Vera are going to be dudes who mix it up. If you look at all of his fights, the fights he's losing are against guys who are kicking, punching, kneeing, clinching, wrestling. Even the Aldo fight, Aldo went to wrestling in round 3. So Sean O'Malley is not that guy. He's going to be trying to box with him on the outside, and you've got him at minus 300. I bet Chito Vera on the money line. I bet him at plus 215. Good size, actually. I have 2 units on him. I also like the Chito Vera by decision at plus 650. I think in most of these main events, they generally go to the distance. I think Tim's split is great. It's just I can only get peanuts on that, so I normally don't, look at it, so I'm limited on those types of props. But 650 for decision is crazy because you think, well, what does this live line look like? At most, if Chito drops the first 2 rounds, it's not going to be greater than 650. So like if you're looking at the decision line at 650, I feel like that's a crazy, crazy ass price because I think it's going to go late. I don't think Sean's going to finish him. So I like Chito. Let's go Chito.
Yeah, I mean, fight goes minus 118 feels pretty good too, honestly. It's very, 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 very hard to finish Chito, man. Extremely hard. I don't think Sean's doing it. But you could have some fluke stuff happen. I mean, that happened in the first fight where he kicked the nerve and finished him. But Sean, like KO 250 is so fucking low. I honestly don't get it. It's too damn low. All right. That wraps up all 14 fights, but we have the best part of the show, Tim, and it is the Lambo parlays. And everybody seems to think we're hitting one this week, by the way. I don't know why. They feel it in their loin. They feel it in their groin. They feel it in their all types of places. So with that being said, I will kick this one off this week, Tim. And for me, I'm going to go with the Almeida sub and the JDM 2-3 props. So mix and match those. Almeida sub in round 2 is 32-1. Almeida sub in round 3 is like 45-1. If you can get them on, I would, if you have Hard Rock, it's much different odds then you're talking like 60-1 for round 3. Let me make sure what it is. Almeida sub, actually no, it's like 47-1 there. So yeah, I mean, that's all I'm gonna give those two. I feel like this is a week of a decent amount of decisions, honestly. I don't see too many finishes in this pay-per-view card. I see a lot of decisions. Usually I like violence, but I don't see a lot of violence here. Tim, what do you got for the people?
So you were mixing up what, sub 2-3 for Almeida?
No. Almeida sub.
Just sub.
And then JDM rounds 2 and 3 mixed in with his sub.
Okay. Cool. Just got to write that down. Sorry. All right. Yeah, I'm going to take Olejniczak by decision, Jack Della by KO, and Benoit by sub is 39-1. And then if you add one, I'm going to add 2 more. So you add Kyler by points is 72-1, and if you add Jan by points, it's 178-1.
You know what, Tim? I really like your Lambo, honestly.
Thanks, dude.
Sean, what do you have?
Well, yeah, if you like that one, buckle up because this is going to be a fucking wild one.
Wait 1 second. Let me grab my seatbelt.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, strap in, boys. All right. So I'm going to build 3 here. Okay. So the first one is going to be Ion Cutelaba and Felipe Lins goes the distance plus 320. You already hate it. Caitlin Chookagian by points plus 250. Marlon Vera by points plus 650. And Jailton Almeida by submission plus 350. This is 495-1. Now, we're going to get a little crazy, or we're going to get a little lighter here. We're going to do Caitlin Chookagian by points, Marlon Vera by points, Jailton Almeida by submission. That's 117-1. And then we're going for the big tuna, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing Jailton Almeida by sub, Marlon Vera by points, Caitlin Chookagian by points, and Ion Cutelaba by points. And that is 944-1.
Well, there you have it. We got 944-1s. We have 495-1s and 117-1s. It might be an epic week. We don't know, but those were some incredible Lambo parlays. 900 people got to witness this freaking amazing show for UFC 299. I want to thank each and every one of you. I want to thank both my co-host, Timothy Troiano, and our special guest, Sean Orr, for coming on with us here today. Guys, again, my Discord link is down below. $25 a month. It's peanuts compared to how much we win on there. Just live betting on there has been insane. So we'll be live tomorrow. Sean's going to be in there. Tim's going to be in there on my Discord. And yeah, we basically live bet. We have a stream and we have some fun there. Tim, what do you have going on? Anything going on for you tomorrow with Sean? Anything? I think Sean's on a hiatus. He just moved, so he's kind of settling in. Where can the people find you? What do you have?
here with you, and then I do the spaces, come into the live spaces with you on your Discord. Sean and I have discontinued Twitter so far for this year.
All right, Sean, where can the people find you? And do you have any shows coming up? I think you're taking the place of some guy called Springer.
Wait, what?
I thought you were taking the place for some guy called Springer. I thought you took his place for shows.
Yeah, he died, and I'm filling in, guys. Catch me on, UPN Network at 2 p.m. every single day. Springer Show. Yeah, no, you guys can find me on Twitter. I'm terrible with my DMs, so I apologize, guys. I've been super fucking busy lately. It's a culmination of so many things going on. And then, yeah, you can catch me in the many Discords, and I'm always trying to contribute. And then, Tim, do you want to do a show tomorrow? You want to do a quick one?
I'll do one if you want to do one, dude.
Dude, you got 887 people in here watching.
What time do you want to do a show tomorrow, Tim?
Anytime you want, man. Anytime. I'm off all day tomorrow, so let me know whatever works.
Yeah, I'm gonna be free. Do you want to do
I'll jump in with you guys. How about that? All three of us.
Hell yeah. Let's do do you guys want to do a 11 o'clock Central?
Yeah,
sure.
That's good for me.
Perfect. So all 800 of you guys, go follow me at my name down here at Sean Orr. Go follow Tim at Timothy Troiano. Go follow Mike, of course, at Narco Cop. Give us all a follow. We'll be doing some live spaces. And the cool thing about live spaces, guys, is we can invite you guys up to talk. It's just not the chat, right? You guys can come in, contribute, banter. Sometimes a little craziness happens. So, yeah, let's do it, guys. 10 o'clock tomorrow, our time, Mike.
All right, beautiful. Again, thank you to my co-host, my guest. Thank you to everybody in chat. 882 of you on the way out. Please hit the like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification button if you haven't yet, so you get notified when we go live here on my channel. Again, guys, thank you very, very much. Good luck tomorrow, and let's cash those tickets for UFC 299.